Charlie and Susanna.
Peter, thank you.
Now, the Duchess of Cambridge has had a very busy 12 months getting married, making her first appearances as a fully fledged member of the royal family, of course.
And tomorrow she hits another milestone, her 30th birthday. So how will she celebrate? What can we expect to see from her this year? Joining us now is Dr. Kate Williams, a royal historian. Very good morning to you. I mean, it's worth mentioning, isn't it, first of all, she's at a film premiere tonight, and this is linked with a lot of the announcements about her charity work, isn't it?
Yes, well, she's going to see the War Horse premiere, and we were discussing earlier whether or not the horse is going to be on the red carpet. And I think this is a big year for her. It's the starting of a new year. She's going to a premiere. We've announced her charities. I mean, she's chosen not many charities, but some very well-chosen ones. And she's really going to, I think this is a new year for her. Last year, she was quite out of the public spotlight. This year's going to be different. It's going to be the year of the Duchess, I think it really is.
And, of course, 30, a milestone for any woman, and lots of speculation about whether there will be a big celebration or whether it'll just be a sort of low-key affair.
Well, there's been all sorts of celebration and discussions. You know, they've had talks that Prince Harry and Pippa are getting together and planning a massive bash with crazy cocktails and all sorts of wild things. But I think it looks like what the palace is saying, that that's not happening. It's going to be much more low-key. She's just going to have lunch, perhaps with her family, spend the day with William. It's going to be a really quiet day, a really quiet family day. So our visions of the Duchess and Harry kind of dancing around on top of the tables isn't going to happen, I think.
Well, I can imagine that's something that would appeal to the royal family, which is that that part of her life is very private, and at the same time she is escalating her public role. And as you were saying before, that's something we're going to be seeing a lot more of.
Yes, and I think also, you know, the Duchess, we know she's very close to her family. She's very fond of her mother and father, and she's not going to get much chance to see them this year. And, of course, this was her first Christmas away from them. I think spending the day with them tomorrow is really suggesting that this might be one of her last chances, because it's a busy year. It's the Jubilee, it's the Olympics. You know, she's got a lot to do.
So just give us a sort of insight into what her diary now holds. As you say, she's announced the charities that she's sort of officially connected with. How much work does she do for them? How much else is she going to be able to do this year? What's it going to look like for her?
Well, the Duchess didn't have that many royal engagements last year, but this year it's going to look like she's going to be much more of a working royal than the average kind of engagements people are taking on. I might expect about kind of 200 engagements from her, so quite a lot, plus the Jubilee, and plus, of course, they've got this gigantic tour they're taking on for the Queen. They're going to Malaysia, Solomon Islands, Tuvalu. I mean, she's got a lot of work this year, and I think, of course, we're going to expect to see a lot of her at the Olympics as well. So Kate, I mean, this is the thing, what Kate does gets so much coverage as well. I think more coverage than a lot of the other royal family members. So we're going to see a lot of her in the media, because really every time she steps out, she's going to be photographed.
And when she announced the connections with the charities, the small number but significant number of charities that she's going to be working with, what kind of a boost does that then give to those organisations?
Oh, it gives a gigantic boost. I mean, ever since the engagement's been announced, she's been besieged by people writing to her, begging her for charitable patronage. It's so important. There's two big things. I mean, the notion that it's by royal approval, and also that every ceremony that they have, every celebration, every reception, she's going to be there. It's going to absolutely pull in the sponsors, absolutely pull in the support. So it's really interesting she's chosen to support some rather quite small charities here. I mean, very different to Diana, Princess of Wales, who really very early on forged that very big public role, associating herself with AIDS victims, with ill children. This is very different here, much smaller. We've got the art room, the East Anglian hospices and the Scouts. So I think really Kate is making a big decision here not to take on too much, not to turn herself into the next Princess Diana, constantly doing these charitable engagements. She's, you know, having a much more restrained diary, and I think that the palace agree with this. They just don't want to see her engaging in this huge amount of work and really being thrown to the lions that way.
OK, Kate, we'll leave it there for now. And just to mention, we'll be talking to one of the project directors from Forces in Mind Trust, the Forces in Mind Trust, which is one of the charities she is now backing. That'll be a little later in the programme. And they will be some of the beneficiaries of the premiere of the War Horse that's happening this evening. So more on that a little later.
Thanks very much indeed. Let's bring you up to date with what's happening in the world of Oddbox now. The very